Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold, and hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday so far. Some stuff to talk about today, not a whole lot. Some interesting document potential, some future. We're told that the FBI is giving Congress some new information, basically saying that they did not have any predicate to go and raid Mar-a-Lago. Something we already knew. I mean, we knew there was nothing there, right? We knew it was political persecution, but to see the actuals will be exciting, and they're doing it on the eve of Jack Smith's closed door testimony, which I'm excited to read the transcripts of that whenever those come out. We'll probably talk a little bit about Trump's Rob Reiner True Social post. I know I touched on it a little bit yesterday, but some people are still losing their mind over it, and it's kind of funny. Plus, we found out that the Obamas were supposed to meet with them. That's kind of interesting timing, I would say. But other than that, we'll go through some economic stuff. Not a whole lot. We'll see what happens. We'll see how active you guys are in the chat. See if you get me all riled up. But how's everybody doing? R.T. Jones says Bongino needs to get behind the mic again. He can do much better there. Yeah, he's definitely getting some pushback. Like people are upset. We're sick of waiting for this accountability we were promised. And I think that's okay. That's justified. We can, sit back and say, hey, we're willing to be patient. We believe it's coming and all those things, but there's always a possibility it's not coming. And so if that's the case, I'd rather be wrong about demanding accountability and demanding action and be wrong that it was happening the whole time than not be demanding it and be wrong that it was never happening the whole time. I hope that made sense. Shireen, the FBI is failing. Yeah, people are upset. I do have a clip I'll show you. The Katie Miller pod is teasing an interview she did with Kash Patel and his girlfriend. And I think people are a little upset about that too. But let's be real. Everybody always finds something to be upset about. Always. They move the goalposts. They get upset about something. It's just their personality. People like being angry. Some people, not all people. We have to keep the pressure on. I agree. R.T. Jones, some will be coming, but probably not as much as people think. That's the camp I'm in. I talked about this a little bit last night with Zach, and I'm pretty sure I've echoed the sentiment here on my show many times. I don't think we're gonna get some accountability. I don't think it's gonna go all the way to the top like everybody wants. I'm upset John has a few hairs at a place where? Are you talking about this one? I mean, it's a little out of place. Kind of looks cool, though. Might just leave it. Are you talking about my beard? My beard's typically out of place. I forgot to do my beard oil today. And I can, tell it doesn't feel the same. But I love the Soft Disclosure beard oil. Polymathin on John, nothing can stop what is coming unless it was never coming. Yeah, Chris has got some good sayings with the nothing can stop what is coming. Let's get a quick word from our sponsors of today's show, and then we will we'll see what happens. We're going to start with some Willow Wind Farm. These guys are the makers of, not these guys, it's Annie. Annie runs a solo ship over there. She's killer, though. She's a workhorse. She's constantly doing something. And she has her own products, too. And I'm excited to talk about these because not only should you be buying Soft Disclosure to support Badlands, you'll be supporting Annie and Willow Wind Farms in the process, but an even better way to support Annie, a true America First patron, just a wonderful woman all the way around, is buying directly from her. Some alpaca gear. Discover artisanal alpaca and merino wool treasures from Willow Wind Goods in Westcliff, Colorado. Every item is uniquely knit and woven to perfection from the finest fiber to keep you warm and comfortable for all occasions. From beanies and mittens to cozy socks and beautifully crafted knit and woven throws, Willow Wind Farms Goods is the perfect gift for your loved ones. The quantity, is limited, So hurry over to badlandsmedia.tv/Annie and use code Badlands to let her know that we sent you. That's badlandsmedia.tv/Annie and code Badlands. And again, yeah, the quantity is limited because these are not easy to make. There's only so many alpacas on that farm. And this is the one she sent me. I was still living in my parents' basement when I got this. I got two of them. One was a black one. One was this one. Full disclosure, not soft disclosure, full disclosure. I can't find my black one. Maybe that was just some internal racism. I just wanted to get rid of it. Threw it away on accident or something. I don't know. It's lost. It's gone. But this one, kids still wear it. It's awesome. This is alpaca fur, alpaca wool. Look at that. She even put a little logo on there. Can you see that? There you go. Badlands. Annie Willow Farms. Great stuff. And then we also have some Unicity. Let me play this spot real quick.
You deserve more than sluggish mornings and blood sugar spikes. Discover the simple daily system that helped so many regain health without dieting or exercise routines. 2 easy-to-take daily drinks. A brain-boosting, appetite-suppressing morning blend that ushers in energy and clarity. A hearty, fiber-packed pre-meal drink that stabilizes blood sugar, aids digestion, and fights cravings. It's a gentle, science-backed path to improved metabolism, renewed vitality, and lasting weight control. Feeling better starts with this simple 2-step daily protocol.
Yeah, Unicity, guys, I still drink the tea, the Yerba Mate tea, all the time, every day. It's my go-to. Parents' basement, John's a LARP. I'm crushed. No, guys, that was real. I did go through a divorce. I was forced to move into my parents' basement. And as I said in the chat, I'd still be there had it not been for like the deal I got on this place. We're very blessed, lucky to get it was while interest rates were super high, I got a like owner financing type situation where they gave me a better interest rate than like anything that was on the market. I think it's still lower than like the market rates right now. At least it'd still be there. But yeah, very blessed. Misbehaving Irishman says, I trust the people I've trusted less than the fuckers I don't trust. Pardon my French, guys. Sorry. Does that make sense? No, that does not make sense. Scheisler, those are the days. It seems like a long time ago. Probably talking about my time in the basement. Yeah, that was a while ago. I moved. It'll be 2 years in this coming January. Pretty sure I closed on like January 5th or 6th or something 2 years ago. 2024. Something like that. Mega Keys, girl. What's up, picture? You're a multimillionaire. That is the rumor. That is what people keep saying. And I do wish that were true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I wish I was a millionaire. I would love to be a billionaire. I would love to be a trillionaire. I would love to all those things. Not quite there yet. Got close, but not quite. John, if you're quoting someone, you don't have to apologize for swearing. I would agree with you, but I've had like 4 people, and it happened again this weekend, where we were at the meetup in Kansas City, and this couple comes up and they're like, "Oh, can we take a picture? My kid, 10 years old, watches your show and he absolutely loves it," which is so funny to me that kids watch the show. So shout out. I can't remember your name now. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts because I wanted to be sure to give you a shout out, 10-year-old. But then it always makes me think like, okay, so when I swear, it's these 10-year-old ears that are hearing it. And I know if my kids were watching something on the TV and it swore, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Turn that off." And so that's why I feel bad. That's why I feel bad. I wish my kids never left. Love those people. Was able to get that new house for just under $1 billion. It was a steal. Yeah. Bonafide doubt. I'm upset that anything that grows up naturally from the soil is regulated by anybody. There is some time flies when you have a private chat. You guys are good. You guys are funny today. I like it. There is talk that Trump may be deregulating marijuana. He might have already done it. I forgot to talk about that yesterday. Trump marijuana. Trump confirms he's considering an executive order. Now, this is from the Cannabis Times. What's going on here? Why does it not let me into the site? Oh, there we go. Trump confirms he's considering an executive order to reclassify cannabis. President Trump is not only looking at reclassifying cannabis to a Schedule III substance, he's now considering it too. Wow. Looking at and considering? That's pretty wild. Trump told media members on December 15th that yes, it is indeed accurate that he's considering an executive order to loosen the restrictions on the plant under the Controlled Substances Act. His remarks come 4 months after he told reporters that we're looking at that. His administration will decide on the matter over the next few weeks. Although this latest development took 4 months, Trump remained non-committal on Monday. I guess we watched.
Is it accurate that you are considering an executive order to reclassify marijuana?
We are considering that.
Okay. Are you planning?
Because a lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify. So we are looking at that very strongly.
They are looking at it very strongly. And I did find out it's Uncle O in the chat. That was me, John. My 10-year-old's name is Harvey. I remember now. Shout out to Harvey. Your parents are pretty darn cool because they're Badlanders. You're pretty cool too. Thank you for watching the show. John, did one of your 227,000 co-founders run off with your black beanie? No, I'm pretty sure. Well, my kids, so I had one in each of my kids' backpacks for a whole year. And I'm pretty sure it ended up at my ex-wife's house and probably in the garbage. Who knows? Yeah, but it's not just medical, my understanding, and I think it's so terrible idea our kids are too exposed to it as it is. I'm not sure how I actually feel about this. I'm not a cannabis user myself. I have partaken before, but I don't regularly use it by any means. And I know people who are very productive. But I know people who use it and aren't, and they kind of let it consume their lives, and in some ways negatively impact their lives. And that's obviously not okay. Making it more, I don't know. Let me read more of this because I don't study marijuana or schedule drug listings. So let's learn something. Although removing cannabis from a Schedule I listing would mean that the federal government recognizes the plant as having currently accepted medical use in the U.S., many cannabis industry stakeholders argue it would not unlock certain barriers to research. The approval process to conduct clinical trials would remain unduly onerous, according to cannabis reform group NORML. Interesting. However, rescheduling cannabis would allow the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy to finance or sponsor research, something that federal restrictions currently prevent the executive branch from doing under Schedule I status. I do agree that if it's a plant, anything that grows naturally, God-given, people probably should just be able to do whatever they want. It's kind of stupid that the government can restrict that. I'll totally agree on the first principles behind that. But I don't. I personally, like I said, don't partake, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend people partake. But I don't knock anybody who does. Some of my best friends partake. We have a guy on the network whose entire username is cannabis, CanCon. It's a herb. Herbs are nature's healing plants. It does make you wonder with all the lies and stuff that we say the government's done. What are the actual benefits of marijuana that they have hidden from us because they've made it illegal? Not a drinker, but smoked plenty. Yeah, I'm not really a big drinker either. I drink on special occasions, like when we're at these meetups. But when I'm just at home, I really don't drink. Every now and then I'll have what are they called? The tomato beers with the pickle in it, chelada. But it's pretty rare. Cannabis is illegal due to the textile industry. Partook. There you go. I like that. Anyway, we'll see what happens here. I do think they should also, look at the psilocybin, and maybe they've already done that one. Now that I'm thinking about it. Eric Q. Freedom. I've smoked weed for 40 years, and I'm not a Marxist. You're one of the few. Just kidding. Just kidding. Let's take a look at some economy stuff before we get to Doge, since Doge never updates. The price of River Bitcoin on River, Bitcoin generally, 87,323. It's gone down a little bit. Another buying opportunity. Oil prices are coming down, which is kind of exciting. U.S. oil prices have fallen to $55 a barrel now at their lowest level since February of 2021. If you remember, during COVID, Trump did some finagling with some, oil producers in the world and got oil down incredibly low. And now it's trending that way. So Trump is saying, hey, I'm bringing oil prices down. So if your gas at your local gas station does not seem to be going down, it's likely a state issue or the gas station issue, maybe a local city issue. Maybe start asking those questions. Gold and silver. I'm going to start showing these every day too. Brought to you by badlandsgold.com. Gold is at 43.19, silver 63.71. Both of these I think are artificially suppressed, and I'm assuming will go up. Ramon 222, oil prices control the economy. By the way, not financial advice. I agree with you. Moosh says, wild, I would sell now, but I have 8 years left at my job and I have top seniority. Anyone else feel like it's been a bunch of pump and dumps with the Bitcoin? Yeah. I could see what you're saying by that. That's the mindset. Like back when I was fundraising, I used to do like day trading on my computer, and I like penny stocks. Like I had no money. Like I would put $500 on and like try to time the ups and downs of something that's going up half a cent, down half a cent. Like it's just so stupid. My mindset back then though was like, sell high, buy low, try to ride it. But with Bitcoin, G Money's got me in such the mindset that I'm like, hold, just keep buying, just keep accumulating. Physical silver, not paper. Yes, do not get paper silver. Not financial advice. Badlandsgold.com. Give them a call. A little bit at a time. Cost of weed oil per gallon. Also, John, the refinery process takes 30 days, so retail prices lag the spot prices. That's for sure. Fixed Baynet, I'm not sure where you're at, but gas prices here were $1.80 when Trump left office in 21. Till it gets below that, I won't be impressed. Go. Reminder, precious metals, crypto, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Yep. 1 ounce of silver worth more than a barrel of oil. Isn't that wild? Maybe someday you'll trade in your silver for oil. Like I said, there's no update on the Doge website. It's almost getting ridiculous that I keep checking. It's like I like punishing myself. But they're never going to update this. They said they would. It was last updated over 2 months ago. They have forgotten about the website. We do have 2 things on the presidential website. Designating fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. I think this is a funny one. Maybe not funny. Maybe that's the wrong word, but interesting one. Let me see if I have Trump's comments on this. How do you spell fentanyl? I always spell fentanyl wrong. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here we go.
I'm taking one more. That's why today I'm taking one more step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding into our country. With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is. No bomb does what this is doing. 200 to 300,000 people die every year that we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
So I think this is very interesting because he's absolutely right. The number of deaths that come from fentanyl every year it's a lot, like a lot. I'm gonna look up some stuff. How many people die from fentanyl each year? Let's see what Comment has to say. United States, on the order of 70 to 75,000 people now die from fentanyl overdoses each year. 200 deaths every day. Okay, that's a lot. Let's see how many people die in car accidents every year. I should have said in the United States. In the United States, it's around 40,000. Okay. Because, I mean, if we're just going based on number of deaths, you could probably classify your vehicles as weapon of mass destructions too. But I understand the mindset here. I think this is going to open up some, interesting strategic moves with fentanyl, although I'm not sure what they are yet. I'm not sure. Let me show you the actual executive order. So illicit fentanyl is closer to a chemical weapon than a narcotic. Agreed. 2 milligrams, an almost undetectable trace amount equivalent to 10 to 15 grains of table salt, constitutes a lethal dose. Hundreds of thousands of Americans have died from fentanyl overdoses. The manufacture and distribution of fentanyl, primarily performed by organized criminal networks, threatens our national security and fuels lawlessness in our hemisphere and at our borders. The production and sale of fentanyl by foreign terrorist organizations and cartels fund these entities' operations, which includes assassinations, terrorist acts, and insurgencies around the world, and allow these entities to erode our domestic security and the well-being of our nation. The two cartels that are predominantly responsible for the distribution of fentanyl in the United States engage in armed conflict over territory and to protect their operations, resulting in large-scale violence and death that go beyond the immediate threat of fentanyl itself. Further, the potential for fentanyl to be weaponized for concentrated large-scale terror attacks by organized adversaries is a serious threat to the United States. As President of the United States, my highest duty is the defense of the country and its citizens. Accordingly, I hereby designate illicit fentanyl and its core precursor chemicals as weapons of mass destruction. People are saying, I voted for this. Trump ran on death penalty for drug trafficking. I agree he did run on that, and I would love to see it. I don't think we've executed anybody doing drug stuff. But also, you think you voted for this. We don't know if anybody actually voted for this. You can't tell me that your vote actually was counted the way that you voted it. But you intended the vote for this. The attorney or the heads of the relevant executive departments and agencies shall take appropriate action to implement this order and eliminate the threat of illicit fentanyl and its core precursor chemicals to the United States. This includes the Attorney General pursuing investigations into fentanyl trafficking, which I'm pretty sure he's already doing. The Secretary of State of the Treasury will pursue appropriate actions against relevant assets and financial institutions in accordance with applicable law, which he's already doing, against all the Tren de Araguas of the world. Secretary of War shall determine whether the threats posed by illicit fentanyl and its impact on the United States warrant the provision of resources from the Department of War to the Department of Justice to aid the enforcement of Title 18. Let me look at this one, because I'm trying to figure out this seems redundant. Because he's already had multiple executive orders shutting down the border. He's declared war on, these foreign terrorist organizations. This feels redundant, but there's got to be something here that, like a new authority or something that opens up because of this executive order, and that's what I'm trying to find out. Well, maybe I'll just ask it directly. What new authorities does Trump have by declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction? Hold for processing, guys. Mainstream media is just saying it's escalating the war on drugs. Move directs federal agencies to leverage expanded enforcement tools without creating new statutory powers. Mandates Attorney General to pursue fentanyl trafficking investigations. Maybe more military intelligence support, which would make sense. Expands national security, criminal sanctions, intelligence, and military support authorities against fentanyl networks. Experts question its practical effects on legitimate medical fentanyl use or overdose prevention, viewing it as rhetorical escalation. It signals broader policy shift towards China and hemispheric military buildup. So, if you guys have anything else, let me know. I'd call the boats exploding executions. That's true. We are blowing up some boats down there. Grammy Anon says it's called unrestricted warfare. If it can be weaponized, it will be weaponized for sure. I'm honestly kind of surprised we haven't seen some sort of like terror attack with fentanyl. Where we go one, we go all GTG. I'm not sure what the last GTG stands for, but they say, I called fentanyl a chemical weapon of mass destruction in chat last week. I guess that makes me the co-founder of the executive order. That's true. You're basically the co-president. CSUSB Geochem, good to see, man. Says, I once got caught with pot at high school. Second day, was grounded for a year. During that year, all my friends got hooked on meth. I was finally able to hang out and everyone was different. See, your pot use and your subsequent grounding saved you from meth. And I hope you have new friends by now, if those friends are still alive, because they're probably not great influences. Unless they were able to like recover and become contributing members of society, then they're good people. PJ's here. We can start the show now. I've been waiting for you, man. The calls for gun control have exploded from the left in the last few days. They're never going to stop doing that until they get our guns, and they're never going to get our guns. So they can cry for it all they want. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to willingly give up their guns to these people. We also have this Bill of Rights Day, and this kind of reminds me of the Monroe Doctrine proclamation we got recently. Trump is doing a lot of these, and he's always hinting at, the 250th celebration next year. But let me read a little bit of this. 250 years ago, our nation was conceived in liberty. Our freedom was wrested from the hands of tyranny. And our people courageously united as one nation under God, committed to the immortal principles of sovereignty, justice, and self-determination. Today, we proudly celebrate the ratification of our Bill of Rights, the revolutionary document that enshrines in law the principles of freedom, human dignity, and due process upon which the United States was founded. On this Bill of Rights Day, we proudly carry forth the bold vision of our founding fathers. We recommit to the timeless freedoms enshrined in the Bill of Rights. We vow to always preserve, protect, and defend our God-given rights, our glorious American heritage, and our constitutional way of life. I love when he says this, our constitutional way of life, because that always reminds me of the strategy document that was attached to Executive Order 13961. Anyway, following the Revolutionary War, the framers of our Constitution set aside 10 core protections from government authority that would ultimately become known as the Bill of Rights. After decades of oppression under British rule, James Madison, who, by the way, I think they're playing Oregon this weekend in the college football playoff. The Bison used to play James Madison all the time, NDSU, because they used to be in the FCS. We used to beat them all the time. They did win one year, I think, but we used to smoke them. But then they moved up, and now look where they're at. Imagine if the Bison moved up. We'd already have like 2 national titles by now. Maybe we'll be moving up soon. Anyway, James Madison, the father of the Constitution, came to understand that it was necessary to clearly define what freedoms the law protected, setting the stage for the triumph of true self-government. Though Madison was once concerned that a written Bill of Rights would not succeed in fending off forces of tyranny and oppression, his friend Thomas Jefferson later convinced him. A Bill of Rights is what the people are entitled to against every government on earth, general or particular, and what no just government should refuse or rest on inference. I think Madison might have been right in terms of this part. It would not succeed in fending off forces of tyranny. We've seen a lot of tyranny lately, the last, 10 plus years, much longer for sure, but specifically the last 10 plus years. In 1789, the first United States Congress drafted the first 10 amendments to the Constitution and later sent them to the states to ratify. In doing so, the states forever secured a series of freedoms that no tyrant could ever infringe, including the rights to speak and worship freely. Are we sure about that? Because COVID, that definitely did not happen. And I still don't think free speech exists in this country. We have the illusion of free speech. Like, I can freely say this stuff, but because of the censorship and the algorithms and everything. So what is it? The whole stupid freedom of speech is not freedom of reach, whatever. I still don't think we have it yet. The right to keep and bear arms. They're trying to routinely take our weapons. To resist unlawful arrest and seizure of private property. That happens on a daily basis. To be assured of a quick and fair trial. That I'm currently in the middle of a stupid lawsuit. Ridiculous, immoral, illogical, frivolous lawsuit. A lawsuit meant to just drain me of money and get a settlement out of me. Not very quick. I'll say that much. And to be protected against cruel and unusual punishment. And I'll never settle, by the way. And affirmed that the United States hold all powers not granted to the federal government. More than 2 centuries later, these foundational legal principles remain the lifeblood of our republic and continue to stand at the heart of our laws, our system of government, and our livelihood. Our framers understood that codifying our rights in ink alone would not be sufficient, and that our rights depended on the endurance of bedrock American principles like separation of powers. I don't know if we truly have that. Due process. Don't think we truly have that yet either. These are good ideals to have. It's a good little reminder. Interesting that he's putting it out here like this. But all these things he's saying, I'm like, do we really have that? Is that really true? Checks and balances, states' rights. Above all, however, they knew that our rights would forever rely on a good and moral citizenry committed to the virtues that gave rise to our republic and have sustained our liberty through victory and defeat, triumphs and setbacks, and times of peace and war since July 4th of 1776. Every day, my administration is acting with strength and conviction to guard these freedoms, the meaning of American citizenship, and our constitutional heritage. We are restoring the rule of law, fighting back against left-wing lawfare, cleaning up our corrupt bureaucracies, and draining the swamp, and forever ensuring that the American people do not answer to Washington. Washington answers to the American people. Amen. Preach it, sister. As we approach 250 glorious years of American independence next year, we proudly carry forward the legacy forged by our founders in the crucible of revolution. We renew our commitment to always upholding the common good and the dignity of the human person. And above all, we pledge to preserve the promise of a proud, free, self-governing republic for ourselves and our posterity. Now, I therefore, Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. Cool stuff. John, for future reference, if her bra size is larger than her IQ, she's a honey trap. I'm good now, guys. I think I got my woman now. We're all set. Don't have to worry about any more honey traps, unless she is a honey trap. Then we should be very concerned. If you want to stay, something stupid or even hateful and even threatening should be taken as an idiot from the public that has sense to see. That does not make sense. John, start a GoFundMe for legal fees. I refuse to put the burden of this on the audience or on anybody else at Badlands, because they've told me to do that too, but I refuse to do it. I will go bankrupt before I have to do that, and I refuse to settle. But at the end of the day, I know I'm right, so I will. Long term, I'm not worried. Might just get a little dicey for a little bit. Freudian slip. Which deodorant should I buy from Mullen Farms? Lemon grapefruit, lavender tea tree, or mint? Okay, I love the mint. Are you Terry? Are you a guy or girl? Because that name could go. I've seen both. I love the mint as a guy. I haven't actually tried the lavender tea tree, but I'm almost out of mint. Like I have like a couple swipes left of that stuff, maybe. And so I switched over to the lemon grapefruit, and I've been using that for like a month now. And these things last forever, by the way. The deodorant's awesome. Like it, seriously, the best. I challenge you to find a better deodorant product on the market anywhere. Like no joke. But I like the lemon grapefruit and the mint. And I'm sure I'd like the lavender tea tree if I had that too. But mint for guys probably. Lemon grapefruit for girls. But there's they're not gender specific. They all smell good. Cece is a saint and we love her. Yes, we do. They are sold out. What are they sold out of? President Trump plans to address the nation tomorrow evening. Post on Truth. You know, he's addressed the nation like a bunch. There's always these announcements coming from the White House. And every time it happens, it's like something super lame. Like everybody gets all excited. They clickbait it. Oh, we're just going to finally announce the arrests or whatever. And never happens. How long do we have to wait for bacon scent? Ooh, that would be delicious. The lemon lotion is to die for. It's, guys, I'm telling you, it's all so good. It's all so good. And it's just a bit gay, but that's okay. It's okay. Bongino leaving the FBI? I doubt it. Is that true? Because I've heard that rumor. I actually had somebody reach out to me. Somebody who would like know. Somebody who's like friends with Dan. And like tried to put me on that story. It's like, hey, word is, and this is like 3 months ago, word is Dan's leaving the FBI. And I felt like they were trying to like get me to go public with it, because they're like, you're allowed to, you just don't say it was for me, don't say who your source was, but you're allowed to talk about it or say it. I was like, that's bullshit. I'm gonna wait until it actually happens. I'm not one of those for the sources. Dan has been leaving the FBI since he got there. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's been his plan all along. I don't know. Let's keep going though. What was I going to talk about? This is probably one of the bigger news stories, and this is what I'm waiting to actually see the documents on, because this will get made public eventually. But the FBI is going to give Congress bombshell memos warning Biden DOJ didn't have probable cause to raid Trump home. This is coming from John Solomon, as I've been saying basically this entire year. John Solomon is like the mouthpiece. He's the narrative setter for the intelligence community investigations that are going on. Like, he is the one that's getting the first glimpse at all these documents. He'll be the one to post it. The FBI clearly told him that they were giving these documents over to Congress. And so, interesting. Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel are preparing to turn over to Congress bombshell emails showing the FBI warned that the Biden Justice Department did not have probable cause to raid President Donald Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago. The prosecutors proceeded anyways. Just the news has learned. The emails are to be turned over as early as Tuesday to the Senate and House Judiciary Committees ahead of a planned deposition Wednesday, tomorrow, from ex-Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. And I am very excited to see how that deposition goes. I hope they ask the tough questions. Who inherited the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case just months after the August 2022 raid of Trump's home that rocked the political world ahead of the 2024 election? The memo showed the FBI's Washington field office does not believe they established probable cause prior to raiding Trump's Florida home, according to one source with direct knowledge of the memos about to be turned over to Congress. That source is probably Kash Patel himself. The soon-to-be-released emails will chronicle the specific concerns that the DOJ under President Joe Biden had not met the standard for a search warrant, but proceeded anyway. I feel like that's, illegal. Probably going to be in trouble for that. And this is part of the overarching RICO investigation that we believe is going on. So I think this is timely and interesting. I'm excited to see the emails. I'm mostly looking for any hints of what they were actually looking for. Because if you remember the actual search warrant, which I went back and looked at, a lot of it was redacted, which sucks. But the referral came from NARA, and NARA's like, yeah, we keep getting these boxes back from Trump, and they keep having classified documents in there, and there's reason to believe there's more. But I always go back to, and a lot of people say this, the Russiagate binder. And maybe there's even more, but the Russiagate binder went missing. John Solomon just so happened to be the last, citizen to have it, non-government employee to have it. The night, like January 19th of 2021, Mark Meadows sent somebody from it was Mark Meadows who went to John Solomon and gave him the bag of Russiagate binder documents. The next day, somebody from Secret Service came and picked it up because there's a couple things they needed to redact, but he had a scanner and everything. They were set up to scan all the documents in the binder. I'm going to wager that happened. They scanned the documents. And, maybe the binder went missing at that point. Maybe they destroyed the originals or something. I don't know. But it definitely feels like they raided Mar-a-Lago to get these documents, the Rushgate stuff. Again, maybe there's more. I'm curious to see the unredacted version of this, if it ever comes out. And I'm sure they're going to talk to Jack Smith about it. But if they were saying themselves, like some people in the FBI did not believe they had the proper predicate to raid his house, but do you remember everything that stemmed from it? Like, holy shit. Pardon my French. This will be an interesting one. Very excited to see the emails if and when they come out. John Solomon is in the Q drops, John. That's cool. I know that because I wrote them, remember? I'm the leading horse of Q promotion. Just made my dog some ground beef and I ate about half pound myself. I like beef. Now you guys make me hungry. What else is there in here? I'm going to ignore some of these comments. John got the old Drew Hernandez summer cut. Yeah, like I went in and I told this was, what was it, last week? My barber that, like, just do the usual. And I feel like they went up like very high. Normally whatever, it'll grow back. 417 Patriot says, oh my God, does y'all's Rumble ever get super glitchy and you can't get anything to work or fix it? John says 3 words, then skips a few seconds. This happens to me quite often. Have you updated your app or your internet? So that's probably the leading issue with that. There was this story. I think we talked about this yesterday, didn't we? I'm pretty sure the Clinton memos. Yeah, the Hillary Clinton's own Russia scandal. FBI memos detail how Uranium One probe thwarted. I've been going back through this a little bit. The documents is 87 pages, and I'm mostly focused on the timeline of stuff. And I haven't really found anything that super sticks out to me yet. I'm looking at the August 1st date in particular of, let me find it here, of 2016, because July 31st, 2016 is when they launched the Crossfire Hurricane. Sorry, I've got to scroll back a ways. Right here, yeah. July 31st, FBI opens Crossfire Hurricane. And if you guys remember, in my mural map, I always love being able to bring my mural map back out. It was August 1st that President Obama participated in a DNC roundtable. And then shortly thereafter, like some of the Russiagate stuff starts to really take off. And then even before that, the birthday weekend, the day before the Crossfire Hurricane stuff. I mean, I'm looking for things that could line up and fit the timeline here to show how involved the president was, President Obama. Haven't found anything yet. Anything that we didn't already know anyway. Miriam 44 says yerba mate is the correct pronunciation. I think yerba mate sounds way cooler though. Because like my drink is my mate. Every morning it's my mate. It gets me going. It's my yerba mate. John would look good with a mohawk. I doubt it. But my son has a mohawk. Like I cut his hair. And the thing these days, like the kids like doing is, it's like you're long all the way through. Like, and you just shave the sides. That's what I've been doing for him. John with Liberty spikes. Using the term presidently loosely. Yeah, you're right. Forgive me. The FBI did finally release some photos of the shooting suspect. This is the guy who shot up Brown University. I am personally just waiting for the... You're looking at Carvana's... Gosh. Shaq, I feel like, is in every freaking commercial these days. No, I'm just going to go to Twitter and do this. Because I had the video up. Hold for processing. I am waiting for the gate analysis from The Blaze.
But you can't stop running with a price on your head.
This is the video they got. Not a single security camera from campus, it looks like. This is from like door cams. But no suspect in custody there. Very unfortunate. Pray for the family of the victims, of course. What else we got here? Terrorist collection has hit $200 billion, Customs says. The United States has collected more than $200 billion in tariffs this year as a result of new duties imposed by President Donald Trump since the beginning of 2025. Tally comes as the Supreme Court considers arguments that the new tariffs are illegal. Yeah, very much looking forward to seeing that case and how it's argued. They did say, Besson said that they have other tools they can use if it does get denied. But I can't imagine they deny it. But we'll see. President Trump has sued BBC for $10 billion over the January 6th documentary they put out. A defamation lawsuit Monday against the BBC, accusing the network of misleadingly editing a documentary that spliced portions of his January 6, 2021 speech on the ellipse. Filed in the Southern District of Florida, the suit alleges defamation and violations of Florida trade practices, seeking $5 billion in damages on each count. Trump's attorneys say the BBC aired a false, defamatory, and malicious portrayal of the president in a documentary broadcast in the UK 1 week before the 2024 election. The complaint alleges the BBC intentionally spliced together two excerpts from Trump's speech that were 55 minutes apart, omitting this call for peace and creating a misleading impression of his remarks before the Capitol riot. Filing also claims internal concerns were raised ahead of the broadcast, but ignored. I'm suing the BBC for putting words in my mouth, literally. Trump said Monday. They had me saying things that I never said. Trump's suing everybody. I bet they're going to settle, get a big old chunk of money. Something I would never do. A blue wave in next year's midterms might not flip that many seats. Here's why. I thought this was interesting. Like, I hate talking about the midterms. I think it's stupid. It's kind of dumb talking about elections, period, with how fraudulent we know our elections are. But this is from Politico, and they're framing here. I found interesting. I'm going to read a little bit of it. Trump is going to need a bigger library with all these legal settlements in his favor. SpaceX, this is from Spetzel. SpaceX is going public in 2026, going to lead to huge things for AI and energy from space. Some decent thoughts. Let me look at what you said there before I get into this article, because I do think that is very interesting that they are going public. Elon Musk just confirmed the most insane IPO in history. SpaceX is going public in 2026, $1.5 trillion valuation, raising $30 billion. It's the biggest IPO ever made. Be beating Saudi's Aramco's, whatever that company is, probably some oil industry thing. But here's what everyone's missing. This isn't about space tourism or Mars missions. Elon is literally about to win the entire AI race, and 99% of people have no idea how. Here's the problem. Killing every AI company right now, it's power. Oracle just reported earnings. They burned through $12 billion in one quarter building data centers. I can relate. That's about how much I burned through this last month. I wasn't building data centers, though. I was just literally burning it with fire. Their free cash flow, negative $10 billion. Revenue missed estimates. Stock crashed 11%. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, all scrambling to find enough electricity for AI training. The brutal math. The U.S. generates 490 gigawatts of total power. You know, I know nothing about power or energy. And so I can't, it's hard for me to conceptualize how much a gigawatt is. I know what, I think I should do that. Help me conceptualize a gigawatt. Let's see what AI can do for me. Gigawatt is a measure of power, not a total amount of electricity, and is very large compared to everyday devices. A gigawatt is 1 billion watts, and a watt is the rate of using or producing energy. Typical U.S. home uses around 10,000 kilowatts of electricity per year. A 1 gigawatt power plant running continuously for a year produces about 8.7 million megawatts, which is 8.76 billion. You're not helping me conceptualize this at all. AI. A common light bulb might be 60 to 100 watts, while large appliances, yeah. Well, maybe you guys understood all that. I mean, I understand it, but it's not very good at conceptualizing AI. Anyway, back to the thread. We generate 490 gigawatts of total power. AI is projected to need 123 gigawatts by 2035. That's a quarter of the entire electrical grid just for artificial intelligence. Goldman Sachs says AI energy demand could jump 165% by 2030. There's literally not enough power on Earth to run AI at the scale these companies are promising. Every data center needs massive cooling systems, billions of gallons of water per year, insane energy costs, and the infrastructure can't keep up. Elon's solution, stop building on Earth entirely. SpaceX is building data centers in space. There's people doing stuff like that on the moon, too. Maybe that's what I'm talking about. China. Remember China? Wasn't it General Quast in that interview with Sean Ryan where he talked about that? Not a concept, not 10 years out, literally starting in 2026. They're upgrading Starlink V3 satellites to carry, need some of my yerba mate, to carry AI computing chips. Each satellite gets 24/7 solar power, no clouds, no night, no weather disruptions, no grid bottlenecks. The insane part is that Starship can deliver 30 to 500 gigawatts of solar-powered AI satellites into orbit every single year. And also remember what General Quast said is that they can actually beam energy from space, like space watts, space energy, space lasers, Jewish space lasers, probably. I already read that. At 300 gigawatts per year, the AI computing power in space would exceed the entire U.S. economy's total electricity consumption within 2 years, just from satellites processing in orbit. Spetzel, this is great. Thank you for sending this over. While Oracle is begging banks for loans to finish data centers, and OpenAI is stuck in circular funding arrangements with Microsoft, Elon already owns everything. The rockets, satellites, the launch infrastructure, the AI company. He doesn't need to ask utilities for permission, doesn't need grid approvals from local governments, doesn't need to build power plants or nuclear plants to wait for clean energy. He just launches, and everyone else is scrambling to catch up. Jeff Bezos sees it. Blue Origin announced they're building their own orbital data centers. Google just launched Project Suncatcher with plans to deploy AI satellites by 2027. It's kind of a lame name for a project. Project Suncatcher. Okay. Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, literally bought an entire rocket company, Relativity Space, just to compete in this space. But they're all 3+ years behind Elon. SpaceX already has 6,000 plus Starlink satellites in orbit. The infrastructure is built. The $30 billion from the IPO going straight into scaling orbital compute. SpaceX revenues jumping from 50. This is a long ass thread. Sorry. but I'm already like 2 balls deep to stop. SpaceX revenue is jumping from $15 billion in 2025 to $24 billion in 2026. Most of that from Starlink. Now add space-based AI infrastructure on top. Here's why this matters. Whoever controls orbital computing controls the AI revolution. This is why General Cross has been telling us about space and how Trump needs to take that seriously. Not that he doesn't know that. Not that Trump doesn't know that. But maybe the people around him are trying to stall and stonewall him in that area. And there's only one company on Earth with fully reusable rockets that can launch at the scale required. Jensen Huang, love that last name, NVIDIA's CEO, called space data centers a dream. Translation, NVIDIA is screwed if Elon actually pulls this off, because if SpaceX succeeds, every AI company on the planet becomes Elon's customer. OpenAI needs compute, running on SpaceX satellites. Google needs more capacity, renting orbital infrastructure. Microsoft needs power, paying SpaceX for launching compute access. Elon won't just be in the AI race. He'll own the entire track everyone else is running on. The $1.5 trillion valuation sounds crazy until you realize what he's actually building. It's not a rocket company. It's the infrastructure layer for the next 50 years of computing. People calling it overvalued have no idea what's coming. And I didn't have any idea what was coming until I just read this post. Gigawatt hours. Like that. Nuclear pants would be pretty cool. Probably would have a negative impact on the fertility rate, but would be pretty cool. Polymathenon says so dumb. Wahlberg Forge. Oh, wait, what are we talking about? Oh, China mining the dark side of the moon. I agree. I do not believe that is happening. But I'm also not there. So who knows? Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit of this. The underrated factor is limiting the power of a blue wave next year. It's weird. Like a lot of the narrative that we've gotten so far is everything sucks for the Republicans. We're definitely going to lose the midterms. Everything we do loses us the midterms. Trump says a bad thing about Rob Reiner after he's dead, lose the midterms. Candace Owens and Erica Kirk can't get along, lose the midterms. Benny Johnson gets called, everything is lose the midterms. Everything. And yet from the left, we're getting some like narrative whiplash, almost the other way around. Like they're counter arguing our Con Inc. in MAGA, which is just funny to me. There's a key limiting factor to the power of a potential Democratic surge next year, the number of seats that are realistically competitive. Even as this year's election results have left many in the party encouraged they can mount a massive blue wave, next year's battleground is a far cry from 2018, with fewer Republican-held seats for Democrats to easily target. They only need to get a 235. The result is that Democrats could post a bigger national swing than in 2018 and still end up with a slimmer majority than they had after that year. To flip 40 seats again would require them to not just win the kinds of highly competitive seats that fueled their House takeover last time, but every district that Trump won by 12 points or less, a task that would not only defy political gravity, but upend it. So is that what they're laying the groundwork here for? I don't know. A lot of talk of the redistricting, and it's all stupid. Trump has truckloads of evidence, though. That's true. He says it's coming out. He made another mention of that when he was talking about Tina Peters yesterday. Sun comes up, lose the midterms. Yeah. Good to see if I had a chance. If Trump doesn't do the thing I demand now, we'll lose the midterms. So retarded. That is what everybody does. And yet people just don't understand Trump. It's the post with Rob Reiner yesterday was classic Trump to me. Because one, he's never been the PC guy. Like if anything, acknowledging our elections are fake, and I can't truly say that this is what I voted for because I can't prove that. But like I voted for the guy I went to my voting location and I filled out the form, the bubble for Trump, because he was not the norm. He wasn't PC. He wasn't politically correct. He was the bull in the china shop that we needed. And so I've never expected him to say things that are, going to make me feel warm and fuzzy. I don't expect him to if there's some guy that he did not like and did not like Trump who dies, I'm not expecting Trump to come out and be super nice and political and wish him well and all those things. Yet half of MAGA is freaking out over it, saying it was in bad taste, unforced error, all these things. What are you guys talking about? That's who Trump is. And I love that he did it because I talked about this yesterday on the show. I know I didn't go into too much detail, but I posted about this afterwards. That one post alone turned like half the internet or more into hypocrites. The one post. And it's because of what happened after the Charlie Kirk situation. With everything the left did and all those things, and half of MAGA were, probably more than that, were going after everybody who was celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk and trying to get them fired and all those things. And a certain subset of MAGA now was like freaking out over Trump posting this. And so all those people had to go and defend Trump almost. Like, it was just so, it was brilliant. And I don't care if Trump says a mean thing about somebody after they die. I really don't. People saying it's in bad taste. And I saw somebody comment, I don't remember who it was, but it was really smart. Like, well, that's the thing. Taste is different for everybody. Like, things I like and enjoy the taste of, other people don't. Some people really like onions. I hate them. I don't know why that's the only example I can think of off the top of my head right now, but that's the one I'm going to go with. Like, taste is different for everybody's. If you thought that was in bad taste, that's on you. It wasn't in bad taste for me. But people are losing their minds. And I don't know why I started this rabbit hole or got on this topic. But anyway, I thought it was great. May he rest in peace. Obviously don't want anybody to be murdered. May his son get help. Like, that's the one who did it. Do not wish ill or harm upon anybody, but I don't care that Trump said bad things. This is the guy that says bad things about everybody all the time. Anyway. You vote, John? I do vote. I have voted. This is probably this upcoming election cycle is probably the closest I'll be to not participating in the vote. But I voted ever since I woke up. Like, I voted in 2016 for Trump. I don't think I voted in the 2018 midterms. You guys can blame me for us losing. 2020, I voted Trump. 2022, I voted. 2024, I voted. Even though I acknowledge that my vote probably didn't count. It's probably stolen from me. Can't trust it because the machines, all those things. I can recognize all those things. I still wanted to get a sticker. My kids love stickers. And it was a great opportunity for a free sticker. So that's why I did it. I think that's all I got because I'm almost out of time. Oh, here, let me show you this. This is the sneak peek at the upcoming interview that Katie Miller is doing with Kash Patel and his girlfriend.
We are so excited to be joined by Kash and his beautiful girlfriend, Alexis. So I just want to clarify, you're not Jewish.
I'm not.
You are not from Israel.
No.
So how did we get to, are you a Mossad agent?
You know, that's a great question.
Where's her ring? Just to clarify, how often has he traveled to see you since January 20th? Has there been one moment where you're like, you can't make this up?
Like, I don't care that Kash went and did an interview. I'm curious how it like happened. Like, did she reach out to his girlfriend and then like she drug him along for the interview? Because I don't care that he did it, but for a guy as heavily criticized as he is right now, yeah, that's the only reason I wouldn't do the interview. I mean, unless if you're like me, you don't care what people think. Kash probably doesn't at this point. But it's just like not the best optics or timing, all things considered. And so I understand like some of the pushback they're getting, but also I don't care. Like, I don't care that Kash is doing an interview. I don't care that his girlfriend's doing an interview. I don't care about any of that drama. I don't care about any of the drama, period. But just like from a logical perspective, it's probably not the best timing if you want to avoid some of the bad optics. Let's see what else. You have to go a long way to convince me Kash would fall for a honeypot. Yeah, as head of the FBI, falling for a honeypot would be a interesting one. And that's not me. I'm not calling her a honeypot. I read somebody's comment in the chat. I do not know, nor do I believe she's a honeypot. I do not any of those things. Do not sue me for $5 million. Only one lawsuit at a time. That's my rule. Uncle Owen left a Rumble rant, says, thanks for the shout out. John Harvey said, I don't really mind when you cuss. Well, I know you probably don't mind. Kids never mind. It's the parents that mind. Like my kids will sit and listen to YouTube stuff where they cuss and it doesn't like really faze them. But I'm the one who's like, why are you listening to that? It's your parents. But with that, guys, I think I'm going to wrap her up and send you guys over to Ghost Show. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Maybe give this a share around. If you have some friends or family that might like the show, share it around. If you guys have anything interesting you want me to talk about moving forward, let me know. Shoot me a DM, comment on Twitter or whatever. I'm always open to suggestions. Sarge Sparky, how is your new governor, John? He's kind of a pussy, in my opinion. Not a fan. Not a fan. And it mainly stems from his school choice stuff that he was, again, I came from the fundraising world, and I've told the story before. You guys probably already are aware. I came from the fundraising world. I was fundraising for a Catholic school system here in town. We built a brand new school up north, like high school. It's a school that I went to. It's a school my kids go to. It's my dad works there, like very tied into the Catholic school community here in town. Fundraised for him. And the biggest thing we've been up against, when I say we, I shouldn't anymore because I don't work for them anymore, but the biggest thing the Catholic school system has been up against is like basically fighting the state legislator who's trying to like screw them over at every opportunity. We fundraise to keep the cost of tuition down. The parishes, they supply some of the money. And then the Catholic school system does financial assistance for those who need it. So they don't turn anybody away. You pay based on what you can afford, but the other money comes from fundraising. And so like a school voucher or something would have been very beneficial, even if it wasn't like a full one. We were just trying to get a little one through the state legislature, but the school unions and everything have always fought against it. The governor campaigned on putting some sort of school choice bill in, and he didn't follow through in the slightest. He actually vetoed a bill. Douche canoe. Not a fan. Until proven otherwise, I'm not a fan. But with that, guys, yeah, I want to play our soft disclosure ad. I'd encourage you guys to get yourself some soft disclosure for you or your loved ones for Christmas. It's the best skincare products around. The lotion is fantastic. The deodorant we almost made it too good because, you know, a business kind of thrives on repeat customers, I'm told. And when you make a deodorant that lasts so long, it takes a while for those repeat customers to come back to you. You will come back. I can almost promise you that. If you get the deodorant, you will become a repeat customer. You will love it. It will just take you a while because it lasts that long. But we got all sorts of great product, guys. And you will be putting your money where your morals are because you'll be supporting Badlands Media. You'll be supporting I got to figure this out. I got to talk to Ash and Annie and figure this out because how many American companies are we actually supporting when you buy soft disclosure? Because it's Badlands. We're an American company. Even though we've been accused of CCP or whatever. Willow Wind Farms, that's 2. And I know she has at least 2 separate suppliers that are businesses. I think it might be 4 American companies you are supporting just by getting soft disclosure, just by getting the smoothest, softest, and sometimes best smelling skin around. Can't beat it. Softdisclosure.com.
Soft Disclosure just dropped new favorites for the season. The lotion, your 5-ounce favorite, is still here. And now we've added full 11-ounce bottles. New Lavender Tea Tree Deodorant, clean, calm, and effective. New Tallow Bars, Chamomile Lemon Rose, and Naked. Rich moisture that actually works. And now the lineup is complete. Beard oil in unscented and spiced vanilla. Palo lip balms, available in chamomile mint, vanilla, naked, and vanilla tangerine. Halo Bar Minis for pocket-ready hydration. Available in vanilla coffee and naked. And finally, lavender vanilla lotion. Clean, calm, and made to work. Visit softdisclosure.com. Use code Badlands and get 15% off. Soft Disclosure, for truth you can gift.
Let's get started.
That's what she said.
real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.